Hello everyone, welcome back to Code with AI. In the previous video, we learned the basics of programming, what Python is, and we also talked about variables and data types. Those concepts are the foundation of programming. Now in this video, we are going to learn two very important concepts that every programmer uses almost every day. First, we will learn about operators in Python, and after that, we will learn how to take input from users. These concepts will allow our programs to actually perform calculations and interact with users. So let's start with the first topic, operators. In programming, operators are symbols used to perform operations on values or variables. For example, in mathematics we use symbols like plus, minus, multiply, and divide. Programming languages also use similar symbols to perform calculations. These symbols are called operators. Python provides many different types of operators that allow us to work with numbers and data. Let's start with the most common ones, called arithmetic operators. The first arithmetic operator we are going to look at is the addition operator. In Python, this is represented by the simple plus symbol. It works just like the basic math you already know. Let's look at a quick code example to see it in action. First, we define two variables, a equals 10 and b equals 5. Then, we create a third variable called result. We use that addition operator to add a and b together. Python takes those values, calculates the sum, and stores the number 15 inside the result variable. Finally, when we print the result, the output is 15. It's simple, powerful, and the foundation of Python math. Hi everyone! In our Python operators series, we're diving into the subtraction operator. This operator is fundamental for any mathematical calculations you'll perform in your code. It's represented by the minus symbol, which you're likely already familiar with. Let's break down a quick code example to see how it works in practice. First, we define two variables, a equals 10 and b equals 3. Next, we use the minus operator to subtract b from a, storing the value in a variable called result. When we call the print function, Python evaluates the expression and gives us the answer. The final output is 7. Python makes these calculations incredibly fast and easy. Another common operator in Python is multiplication. The symbol used for multiplication in Python is the asterisk. Let's look at an example. We'll set the variable a to 4 and b to 5. The expression a asterisk b multiplies these two values and stores them in result. The result will be 20. Next, we have the division operator. It is represented by the /. Example, a equals 10, b equals 2. Result equals a divided by b. Print result. Here Python divides 10 by 2, which gives the result 5.0. Notice that the result is a decimal number, which means Python returns a float. Python also has something called the Modulus Operator. It is represented by the percentage symbol. This operator gives the remainder of a division. Think of it as what's left over after the math is done. Let's look at a quick example to see how it works in practice. 10 modulus 3. When we divide 10 by 3, we get 3 with a remainder of 1 because 3 times 3 is 9 and 10 minus 9 is 1. So the result of 10% 3 will be 1. It's that simple. Why is this useful? It's perfect for things like checking if a number is even or odd by checking for a remainder of 0. You can also use it to cycle through items in a list or manage time conversions, like turning seconds into minutes. It's a small operator that does a lot of heavy lifting. Hey everyone! Today we're diving into another essential tool in Python, the Exponent Operator. It's super useful for mathematical calculations. In Python, the symbol for the exponent operator is the double asterisk. It's how we calculate the power of a number. Let's look at an example. If you write 2, double asterisk, 3, you're telling Python to calculate 2 raised to the power of 3. That's basically shorthand for multiplying 2 by itself 3 times. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 gives us 8. It works for any power. For instance, 5 double asterisk 2 means 5 squared. It's a much cleaner way to write out complex math. Since 5 times 5 is 25, the result Python gives you is 25. Simple and efficient. Try using the exponent operator in your next coding project. Don't forget to like and follow for more quick Python tips. Operators are the building blocks of logic in programming. They are extremely important because they allow your code to actually do things. First, they allow us to perform calculations, everything from simple addition to complex mathematical formulas. Operators also let us compare values, determining if one number is greater than another or if two pieces of text are identical. This comparison is key to building logical decisions, allowing programs to follow different paths based on the data they receive. In essence, operators help us process data into meaningful results. Almost every real-world program uses them in some way. Now that we've covered basic arithmetic and logic operators, it's time to talk about where that data comes from. Let's move to the second major topic of this video, taking input directly from users to make our programs interactive and dynamic. Sometimes we want our program to ask the user for information. For example, asking the user for their name, asking for their age, asking for numbers to calculate something. In Python, we can take input from users using a built-in function called input. This allows the program to receive data from the keyboard. Welcome! Today we're diving into one of the most fundamental parts of Python, input and output. Let's look at a simple example that every beginner should know. Here is the code. We define a variable called name and use the input function to interact with the user. The input function displays a prompt to the user and waits for them to type something in the console. Whatever the user types will be stored in the variable name, acting like a container for that data. Then, the program moves to the next line. This is where the print function comes into play. The program prints that value back to the screen, displaying exactly what the user entered. And that's it! You've just mastered the basics of Python I/O. Keep practicing and happy coding! Hello! Today we'll learn how to make your Python programs more interactive. We can print a message along with user input to guide them. Look at this example. Name equals input with the prompt, enter your name. Then we use print to say hello followed by that name. So if the user enters Rahul, the program will output, hello Rahul. This simple addition makes the program feel much more interactive. It's a great way to engage with whoever is using your code. Try it out in your next project and see the difference. Happy coding and see you next time. Welcome back to our Python Tips series. Today we're tackling a common hurdle for beginners, the input function. One important thing to remember is that the input function always returns a string, regardless of what's typed. This means even if a user enters a number, like 25, Python treats it as a sequence of text characters. Let's look at a practical example. Suppose we write the line, age equals input, quote, enter your age, quote. In this case, the value stored in the variable age is actually a string, not an integer like you might expect. To use it as a number, you'll need to convert it using the int function. Remember this, and you'll save hours of debugging. Welcome back! Today we're diving into a crucial Python skill, converting user input. By default, everything you type into the input function is treated as a string. This means if you try to add two inputs together, Python will just stick them side by side instead of doing math. To fix this, we need type conversion. Let's look at this example. Age equals int, then input, enter your age. Here, we wrap the input function inside the int function. The int function takes that string input and transforms it into a whole number, or an integer. This is the key to making your programs interactive and mathematical. Once converted, Python can now perform calculations like addition, subtraction, or comparisons with that value. It's no longer just text, it's data. And that's how you convert input in Python. Practice using int or float for decimals in your next project. Happy coding! Let's look at a simple example using input and operators together. First, we use the input function to get a number from the user. We do the same for a second number, converting both to integers. Now we use the plus operator to add these two numbers together. We store the sum in a variable called result, as shown here. Finally, we use the print function to output our answer to the console. This program asks the user for two numbers and prints their sum. This is a very basic example of interactive programming. So in this video, we learned two important things. First, we learned about operators in Python, which allow us to perform different kinds of calculations. Then we learned how to take input from users using the input function. These two concepts allow us to build programs that actually work with data and interact with users. In the next video, we will learn about conditions and if-else statements, which allow programs to make decisions. See you in the next lesson on Code with AI.